Welcome to Gasper Cottage in May, and a glorious month it's been. Pretty high levels of sun, everything's been coming into flower. The rose over the front door is just a marvel at this time of year, and the whole of the front garden is just this marvel of flower and colour, lots of mauves and pinks and purples, the silver of the foliage really setting things off beautifully. But this is a time of year for just flower power. So everything from this extraordinarily delicate little umbrella fir through to the glory of the irises, the luscious colours and the little furry beards. How is this natural? Who knows? Anyway, it is fantastic. And through the simplicity of the little woodland irises, it's also the season of the alliums, and these are explosions. And even as they turn into seed heads, they're still utterly glorious on their own. But taken en masse like that, those are set off particularly well by the cardoon foliage. It's also the season of poppies, and I do have the bright red, enormous ones with the black dots, but this is a little more subtle. And then at the other end of the scale, you've got the first sweet peas of the year, which is fantastic. Stately delphiniums. This looks particularly good set against that yew hedge. And little dainty, tiny, almost a wildflower, through to the blousy fabulousness of the peonies. And roses. June will really be the month of the rose, but the early ones were all leaping into life. And you put the whole thing together, and the garden is just amazing. The riot of colour and texture, it's also filled with insects by the middle of the day. Early in the morning, it's quite a different story. It's all very, very peaceful and quiet and tranquil. But the light has that silvery quality in the morning. But that does give the opportunity to glance across through the orchard down towards the pond, which is definitely starting to come into its own at this time of year. And it's still baby wee, everything is still just growing, but it's starting to look green, which after the months of earth moving and soil and bare soil and more bare soil is fabulous. And yes, we do swim in it, which is amazing. Swimming with newts, what could be better? But it gives you a reason to go out down that path into the orchard, as if you needed one. But as I said, this front garden is so romantic at this time of year. It's just a froth of mauves and pinks and lilacs. And as you come around the corner, that carries on. We've got the two fabulous stands of the clematis, which have an extraordinary scent. It's like a kind of warm vanilla biscuit. So I sit there in the afternoon with a cup of tea, enjoying that. And this new bed is starting to come together. It's not a lot of colour yet, but it's all starting to look a little bit more respectable. But think what it'll be like in a year, because this bed was new last year. And look at it now. The mix of the purple and the orange, the Nepeta and the geum is amazing. I'm loving it. Very Munsell colour wheel, really. And then the Nepeta does dominate at the moment. I'm a little worried there might be too much, but, can you have too much Nepeta? Not if you're a bee. They think it's just the best thing. And, we'll be taken over from other things later in the year. The grasses will start to come through in 6 weeks or so. I expect we'll start to see the grass heads, which will be lovely. But this is the moment for the Nepeta. And as I said, what could be better if you're a bee?